Okay, so we're here talking about the stuff, talking
Right.
about everything.
Right.
Real,
You can't even say the word because your videos will get demonetized.
yeah, I saw that. I uploaded something about. I said the name of the virus, and it wasn't monetized. So now I just don't even say it.
Yeah,
it's weird.
In my last video, I didn't say it, and it still got demonetized. Like they knew we were talking about it. So
really,
yeah, or not we. I suppose they knew I was talking about it. Not my last video, but the video I did yesterday or
right.
like demonetized. I think I said flu. I realized in the video I said flu, but like, how does it know I said flu?
Yeah, I've posted things before with a song, and within like 5 seconds, it was taken down. I can't use the song, and it was a real obscure song, Andrew WK. It's time to party, and taken down right away. I thought Andrew WK was a cool dude, but I guess not. No.
Well, they just use
like
show
an
only one
algorithm. Well, we got a quick question from Lee. Sorry, yeah, they use an algorithm for the music. This one's at me. I went to my warehouse and grabbed it. He wants to know where I get this vinyl patch tape. It's just a big roll of tape, which is vinyl to repair tents. I actually got this from the manufacturer of the tent, Aztec. So I'm assuming most manufacturers will be able to send that to you. If not, other places like Advantage Tent Fittings will. But you're up in Canada, so I don't know.
Right.
How do you patch your tents? Where do you get your stuff from?
The stuff that because if I ask from the sellers here, they don't actually manufacture it, at least not in Alberta. They just send me a patch of the tent, but I don't want a patch of the tent. I want something with like a sticky back. Like yours has like it unfolds from, right?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. They don't have that here. Like it's weird. If we would pay gold for that, gold. You should sell it. If you like,
I know. Gold. It's so hard for you guys up in Canada to get stuff, it seems.
Yeah. I mean, I think in BC there's a place that sells some stuff. But yeah, I'm gonna have to contact maybe the manufacturers directly and be like, just ship it to Canada, whatever it costs. Like, even if it costs $100 to ship it, who cares? Like, it's so valuable. Lee, does yours have? Did it have the sticky back, or was it non-sticky back? And
he said someone sold it to him for $40, and they wouldn't tell him where to get it. It's a secret. It's a secret up there.
Have the sticky back, because I found some without the sticky back, and they give you like a bottle of glue. Yeah, it has sticky back. That's great. Yeah, great.
Okay, so you guys connect, and how far away is he from you?
Like 7 hours drive or something.
Oh, really? Oh, I thought it was closer.
Yeah.
How's the photo booth going that he taught you how to build?
Yeah, great. Yeah, just yeah. It rents out. I mean, nothing's renting out now, but it was going great up until recently.
Right.
Yeah. Even like off season, semi-popular. And now we have the ship out photo booths. That's kind of I don't know. I should have said that. It's kind of a secret. It's a secret because it's like, yeah, most of you didn't want too much. And everybody here has event rental businesses, so they're just like looking for stuff to like, like,
right.
Oh my god. So
yeah, I haven't attempted to build it or even look at how to build it yet, but was it fairly straightforward? Like, you got it working?
Yeah, it's not rocket science. It's tricky though. I don't think, I would say like the average now, like, I don't know, I suppose everybody can build anything, but it seems that sometimes people just buy stuff to save them time or this and that. But photo booths seem to be very expensive because it is a bit tricky. Like you need a bunch of components, you got to put them together. So it's tricky, but it's not too bad. Like you have to be competent, I think.
Right. Well, Lee, who is up on the screen right now, the bartending photo boothing rental guy. I mean,
Right.
if anyone wants to build a photo booth, he's been making a whole bunch of videos on it. You should write like a pamphlet book thing and sell it.
That's what I told him too. He's biding his time. I think it's just a matter of time before he monetizes his knowledge. I mean, it's already monetized in the photo booths themselves.
Right.
Like, considering he lives in a town of like 250, and it's not like in this. Like, I know, Adam, you don't live in a big town, but like, there's a lot of small towns around your town. While
Yeah.
Saskatoon kind of is on its own. Like, so I would say within an hour's drive, it's only like 250, 2,500, or sorry, 2,000. Sorry, 250,000 of people. Quarter million. So I mean, maybe that sounds like a lot, but it's really not that bad. And he has like 5 booths, and they like all go out in the summertime every weekend. So that's not bad for. I mean, it's not bad. That's amazing, I would say.
Right. Well, the big thing is like you look up these prices to buy one, and they're so expensive, and then you watch his channel and realize you can build one for a fraction of the cost. It's crazy. I wish I knew that like years ago.
Right.
But yeah, you guys check out his channel, learn all about the photo boothing, and watch him flip bottles and do fire and bartend. It's pretty fun.
Yeah, he's kind of getting out of that. He wants to get. I mean, he's right there, so he can speak for himself. But here we are. Like, he wants to go towards events. I think he likes it more than bartending.
Right.
You're there, Lisa. Just speak up if that's not true. Or
if he was single, it'd be a great gig bartending. All these fancy parties.
Yeah, like I don't know. You don't want to sleep where you.
It's like male strippers. They're not supposed to sleep with the ladies because then they lose the money.
Right.
I'm just throwing this up on. I had a phone call with a guy the other day from Clarity FM. It was a free phone call. Just want to give him a shout out. He was going to start his business, but he decided not to, which leads into the video you just posted. He doesn't want to be buying tents this year because of Corona. But you just posted a video that it's a great time to start. Why is that?
Well, I think you should always do. Okay, this is a generalization, and it's pretty much wrong right off the bat. But you should do what other people are not. In the sense that you should go against the trend. And like generally speaking, that's probably bad advice. But I think sometimes in business, you got to be a bit different. And also, you'd be surprised how long. Like watch the video I just posted it. Like literally 2 seconds before coming to this. It's time to make a fancy thumbnail, but I think it takes a few months. I would say like as soon as I start a business, it takes like a good 2 weeks before you get the first client, and even before then, you've got to make the website, get the phone number, kind of figure things out, and build that foundation. And the stronger that foundation is, if you get more time, like now you're bored at home, like what are you doing? Sitting there, just staring at the. You might as well make the website. Like figure out exactly what you want, like find pictures, and if you have like any money in the bank, it's not a bad time to like go out and look for deals, because I bet you things are like, especially from private sellers, like people are probably giving things away because no money is coming in.
Exactly.
Some good deals.
I think that in a few weeks, even the manufacturers are going to start discounting things heavily so they can get stuff out the door. So if you have cash to buy things right now, that'd be great. And on your point that it takes a little while to build up, like, yeah, you're not going to start today and tomorrow have your first phone call. You got to get on Google. You got to get your website up. You got to build a Facebook presence and get pictures populated. So even if you start now and maybe you get a phone call 2 weeks from now, you can say, oh, we're not actually open for business until next year. but that whole year gets you more indexed on Google, and just it takes a while for that stuff to build up. So if you get your website and Facebook and stuff all right now, it'll just set you up for next year.
Yeah, and like what nice thing with events compared to other businesses is, like, say you set up I don't know, like a car mechanic shop. It's like, well, someone's car breaks down, they come tomorrow. But you set up your business, say it's online for June or even July or October, or whatever it is. Like, by the time the website's fully going, you got the form going. Like, there's people that are booking. It's like you're getting business before you actually have to do the work. So just like, oh, I'll do it next year after the corona. It's like, this year, technically, like late this year will be next year, like because people are pre. Yeah, don't be afraid. And you don't have money. Like, okay, you do everything but spend the money, because you might not have the money.
Right. You can buy those things a few weeks. You can get those shipped to you a few weeks before your season begins next year or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Oh, yep. Everyone can start rentals in the garage. No rent. I mean, you started in a space that you didn't have rent, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Exactly. So garage, I think you did too, right?
Yep. My mom's garage.
Right. So it's always a garage.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a classic kind of place to start the business.
Right.
So, definitely.
So have you had a bunch of cancellations or anything?
Actually, it's not as crazy, and I should really be knocking on wood here if I can find any. But it's not as crazy yet. Like, a few came, but mainly it's like really quiet. No cancellations, no calls, no nothing. And I think people are kind of biding their time. For my previous clients, I say cancel within 30 days.
Right.
So maybe they're like kind of like, those are all like July and June, July, September, August clients. And so they're probably just like, oh, well, I'll just cancel 30 days before instead of now, which is actually good. Like, because maybe by then it'll be okay. And also, but the ones we had for like May, they all canceled. But now it's like kind of like the June and July ones haven't really. And then the ones that have, like, almost to later dates or next year. So far so good. Like, if you reschedule, that's obviously great. If you cancel and you want your money back, that's not good. Because I don't think I have the money to pay everyone back. So hopefully most people, like, the thing is, people are doing weddings, so like it's not like they don't love each other anymore. So hopefully they own it,
Right. Yeah, I've only had like college gigs cancel, which makes sense. The colleges have closed. I had last night someone 4 months from now asking about canceling. So I called her and was like, hey, we're going to keep your order on the books just in case. 4 months is a long time to be planning something to cancel. So we're going to keep it up till the day of. And if you have to cancel or reschedule, then we'll deal with it then. But I don't want you to cancel right now and then not have the equipment when you need it a month from now, when you call me back and say, hey, everything's all right, we can go back outside now, and then not be there. So big people, big weddings like that, I've just talked to staying on the books. We'll treat it as the event's going to happen. If not, we'll figure it out after then. But take it a little bit at a time, not 4 months in advance, get scared and cancel.
Right. Exactly. So hopefully, hopefully it's okay. Now, yeah. And yeah, so
I've actually changed my deposit policy. I was jumping back and forth and everything. I'm actually just taking no deposits now. I'm just reserving the equipment and telling them, it's yours. Here's your reservation confirmation, but no deposit needed. We'll deal with everything as it comes up, because I don't want to be getting in this money, then spend it, and then be like, oh, now I got to send thousands of dollars back to a whole bunch of people.
Right. Yeah, I've been jumping back and forth as well. And I'm still not in a place that I'm extremely happy. So what I'm doing is I'm taking the deposit, but then saying you'll like pretty much whenever. So it's all that credit will be valid for the next like 2 years or whatever you want. I said, and the only reason I'm saying 2 years is because like literally two people wanted like 2022 events, and I was like, "You're thinking that far ahead?" And I don't know. I'm like, "Sure, whatever."
Right. It's kind of crazy how far people are thinking ahead, but I'm just trying to avoid the news for the most part, so I don't know that much about it. But I know 4 months in advance trying to cancel something is kind of a long time to be canceling something. Let's let it go a little further and then see what happens.
Yeah, exactly.
Lee's saying something about an admin fee. I like the idea of an admin fee because, you know, my office guy's not here right now, but he spends time taking these phone calls and doing these things. So I'm cool with an admin fee of like $25, $35. It's like that was the time it took to build this and be in contact with you, and it's the work we put in already.
Right. Yeah. Refunding capital. Yeah. Yeah. I really hope there's only a few cancellations. I really hope the big ones move to next year or in the future or something, because otherwise, I don't know. I'll have to get a loan or something to like refund people, which is really a sad loan to get. You know, like,
yeah, that's a horrible loan. I've just telling people like, yo, if I got to give you back a deposit, it may be 6 months to a year. You'll get your deposit back, but I can't operate right now and just be giving tons of people money back everywhere.
Right, exactly. So but I still had some like construction tarps out and some heaters and stuff. So I made a little bit of money in the last couple of weeks. Like almost, every second day some money came from that. So oddly enough. But it's weird because you make so much more money than me in the summertime, but in the wintertime, I think I make more money than you, which is really strange. But I think because you don't do any of that stuff. But
like the
I know
construction tarps.
Yeah, it's like $50 billion and then like $2.
Yeah, the wintertime is kind of rough here. I mean, it was starting to look up. A lot of, you know, over the years, built up relationships with a lot of colleges and was doing a lot of winter jobs for colleges. But right now, they're just not getting booked.
Right. Exactly. Because tarps were good. Like, I had 200 tarps rented out for a month. And somehow that came out to like $4,800. So, and they just a couple days ago they sent in like the second half of the payment because they paid 50%. And I was like, this is great. You know, I really need this money right now. So, and it literally takes like an hour and a half to drop those off. So, because we have to make 2 trips, it would take like 10 minutes, but we have to make 2 trips. So it's like, it's for the labor, it's incredible money. Like if the construction company doesn't flake you, because construction companies are so flaky compared to like event people, it seems like, I don't know. They're always like going out of business and like
weird alcoholics and unreliable. If you guys don't know what we're talking about, Les has these construction tarps. He's got a few videos on him you can check out on his channel. But they're construction tarps that construction companies rent out to keep concrete warm or just keep the building warm while you're working.
Right, exactly. In the wintertime. So it's a good wintertime rental out there.
Yeah, we got a question about building their own tubing for West Coast frame tents. Yeah, sure. It's going to be a lot cheaper to buy a tube and cut it. You know, he's saying it would be harder to do double tubing. The only problem with building it yourself is then all your tent pieces got to be 10 feet long, and you don't have any tents that are, 20 feet long, so you have less legs and stuff. All your frame tents already have 10 feet spacing legs, right? So like when you build a frame tent, there's legs every 10 feet, whereas my frame tents, I got the double barrel, so I only got legs on the corners of a 20 by 20, but you've got them like every 10 feet, right?
Wait. Were you talking to Justin there, or both of us? Or
I'm talking to you.
Okay.
This was his question. Sorry. So you have a frame tent we call them high peak, but I think you call them marquee, with the fake center pole that sits up on cables, right?
Right.
But you bought it from Canada, in Canada. So yours is single tubing, which means you can't do a 20-foot span from one leg to another. So you have a leg in the center everywhere, right? On a 20 by 20, you would have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 legs.
No, I only have 4 legs. We only have 4 legs.
You only have 4 legs?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. But it's single tube though?
Right. It's single tube. But I think like it's weird because I think you mostly have pole tents, right? And then majority have pole tents, but I do got a lot of frame tents. Okay, then you do have the frame tents, right? Yeah, I've seen the frame tents on you. So yeah, so they're definitely single tube, but like it kind of looks like they're slightly different. I don't know if they're thicker or maybe the diameter of the. I think they're 3.5 inches.
Are they 20 feet long or are they 10 feet long and you got to use a connector piece?
There's a coupler in the middle, yeah. So they're 10 feet and then there's a connector piece in the middle. But I don't. Yeah, I suppose with that connector piece, it's still okay. So it's aluminum. Yeah, that's interesting. So yeah, single tube, aluminum, and they're 10 feet long with the connector pieces. Actually, technically, I think they're like 9 and a bit because the connector piece has. Yeah.
Okay, so the basic answer to this guy's question is, yeah, you can get your own pipe, order it, and cut it to length if you want. It's probably going to be cheaper. I just like the double barrel poles because I feel it's sturdier. I live in an area with lots of rain, so I want the sturdiest possible. Also, I don't like all the connecting pieces. The less connecting I can do, the faster I can get a tent up.
Right. So, yeah, I suppose, like, I don't know, from the places that I buy them from, I don't even know that option, you know? Again, the manufacturer is limited, and, like, they don't even, like, at least we go to SES, Lee goes to SES too, which is Special Event Sales. That's kind of the place here in, like, central western Canada. I think in BC there's a couple, but they're kind of far away. So we go to the SES, and they definitely only have the single pole, whatever that means. But they are big companies, so they have like a lot of sizes, and then they have like these like clear span tents as well, which we don't carry. But I think they're much bigger. But yeah, we don't even have like I saw your poles. In fact, I was shocked. I think there was a video where you had like the pamphlet from the manufacturer. There's so many options. Like it was crazy. Like you had so many options. We have like one option. Just 10, hit it or don't. And then you have like all these options, like single, double, and there's like different styles of the singles and doubles. So I found like
I don't know if this question's for me or for you. Chairs are transported face down. Is there a reason for this? I don't know what you consider face down.
Well, I think he means like the seat where your butt would go is like
folded and face down. Okay, so the reason I do that is because if I need to take 10 of them off, if I have it the other way, when I reach down and grab in, the chairs tend to open up. If I have them face down, then I can grab and nothing opens up. It's all locked gravity-wise that way. So that's why I do it that way.
Right. And then also it seems that when they're the other way, it seems like they're not as they're kind of resting on that center, like a center rectangle thing, instead of like really flat on the ground.
I find when I do the non-padded ones the other way, or if we ever pick them up and someone stacked them that way, even when you ratchet them and try to push them, they come apart more easily than if you have them with the top of the seat facing down. It just locks in together better.
Yeah. And then it's much harder to grab them out of the pile too. Like if they're not upside down, like they kind of like go in and come out more easy. Wait, do I have some? Hold on.
While he's doing that, do they make West Coast frame double tubed? Yes, they do.
So these are some. Like, we're definitely gonna keep them like this.
Right.
But, and they just come out easier. But when they're upside down, like they don't. I don't know. They don't even like slide in. Like, I don't know.
Right, and then the seat comes apart. If you got 15 in your hand, it's not going to come apart the other way. But if you got 5 to 10 or whatever, the seat tends to pivot on you if you pick them up the other way.
And you definitely want to stack them, like if you're using your hands to take a portion of them off the pile, you want to stack them with like the top, not the legs to you, but the top to you. That way it's easy to take off and put back in.
Right.
Otherwise it would be like jamming up. But yeah.
I got a question about selling our companies. Do you want to sell your company?
How would you sell your company, and how will you price what it's worth? Thank you both. Yeah, I think we talked about this a little bit. I mean, I'm always a sellout if it's for the right price, but
right.
When is it ever the right price? I guess sometimes. I think if you're a technology company, it's great because Google comes along and just like buys. It doesn't matter. Just like millions of dollars is like nothing for them, like pennies. They get fined like billions of dollars. They get fined billions of dollars. Like,
right.
You freak out. They're getting fined like billions of dollars for privacy issues and this and that, for monopoly issues. So Google buys your company for $1 million. Like, it's like nothing, but it's like literally nothing.
Right.
Because they're pretty much printing money. But if you're just a rental company, so there's like a formula, it's pretty much your like it's a year's worth of profit, or maybe 2 years of profit, but it's your profit, 1 to 6 years of your profit, typically closer to 1, plus your assets minus your debts. That's the value of your company. I don't know, like, look, I've sold and bought companies before, small one. And then I also met with like the people that's like the brokers that sell companies, and that seems to be like it's not even like it's not like it's not my opinion. It just that's what it is in the industry. It seems that it's like a couple of years of profit, but closer to 1. Like if you're not a brand that people know, it's pretty much 1 year of profit. What is 1 year of profit? Like nothing. 1 year of gross profit, not net, gross. So you get a little bit more money there, plus your assets minus your debts. So there you go.
Right.
He's gone now.
We have a company that's going up for sale near us, near me and my friend, kind of in between us. They make $1.5 million a year. What comes in, and they're trying to sell their company for like $3 million. And after you do all the math, it's insane. You cannot even buy their company and take any money from it and be able to pay the debts, or not the debts, but like the loan on it. Because sure, they may be bringing in 1.5 million, but $80,000 at the end of the year is all that is, the paycheck, the profit. And you got a 5-year loan on that. You cannot pay off $2.5-3 million off of $80,000 a year in 5 years. So a lot of times people ask way too much, especially in the rental business, because they think their inventory is so great or whatever. But truth is, you come in and you're like, that has to go, that has to go. We got to replace that, da da da. And if you're buying it just that able to pay back the loan, you got no growth. You have no way to grow that business, because all you're doing, any bit of money that comes in, you're paying off that 5-year loan on it, 10-year maybe. So buying rental companies is very far and few between. Most of them go to auction.
Yeah, so that's what I noticed. You're saying most of them go to auction, but you're right about. You're definitely right about people price them too high. and then like they never sell. So it's like, yeah, go ahead, price it whatever you want, but like it's not gonna go anywhere. And then what's gonna happen is like you're gonna get bored and you're gonna get disenchanted with your business, and then it'll slowly start to go downhill, and eventually it won't be profitable, and then you'll auction it off, and that'll be like a 3-year process. So it's like, if you want to sell a business, you better price it right, because like people are gonna crunch the numbers. At the same time, like maybe they price something out and then there's like a back and forth. I don't think it's like a house where you priced it out for 400,000 and then the guy buys it for 380. I think with a business, it's usually like someone prices it for 150 and then they end up at 70. I think that's kind of like probably in businesses. But yeah, 3 million, because he's going off sales, not profit. Like the formula is definitely profit. So that's a big difference, a huge difference potentially.
Yeah, if you're going off an $80,000 profit, that puts you at $240,000. That's not that bad. So
yeah,
you can pay that back off of $80,000 profit over a certain amount of time. But here's an interesting question from Frank Mendoza. What do you guys like about each other?
You're different, eh? Like in many regards. You like Star Trek, right?
Yeah. Have you been watching Picard?
Yeah, I was just gonna ask. Yeah, I watched episode 7. Okay. I think maybe a couple other ones now. Or I think really.
Last one was episode 8, and episode 8 kind of sucked. So we like that. We like Star Trek about each other. We like that we're in the rental business together.
Yeah. Also, I think we like that we're not. I don't know. There's I like Adam because he's like right there staring at me. Because he it seems like there's something like hidden behind a lot of people. You know what I mean? Like you listen to them and they have like, okay, and rightly so. Like, you don't want to release all your information or whatever, but you're pretty frank. Like, I can tell who your personality like isn't, because there's a lot of people that probably like are on YouTube and they're like wife beaters, like that's not even a good example, but there's some fakeness to them, like and I can like smell it, or they're too sales like they like selly, like
they get a fake voice and are just weird.
Yeah. There's something, I don't like, I can give lots of examples, but I can't because like some of these examples literally might be watching us.
I like basically the same thing. You keep it real. A lot of your videos aren't edited, so it's like that's just you talking. And it's not fake. And I've never heard you once try to like sell something. I push the Patreon sometimes and talk about things, but I always feel like weird about it. And I always say I feel weird about it, and everyone knows I feel weird about it. But I like that we don't really do that. With that being said, I got a Patreon. So I'm just kidding.
Yeah, like plugging it, right?
Yeah. I don't like plugging. You watch someone's YouTube video and the first minute is them saying, go do this, go do that, sign up for this, buy this course, blah, blah, blah. I don't like that.
Right. Yeah. It kind of makes sense. Like some people do it full time. In fact, if we were full-time YouTubers right now, it wouldn't be bad because like, we would have like income.
Yeah. Everyone's bored watching us blabber, and then we'd be making some money. I like that your facial hair looks pretty bad. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, it's true though. It is pretty bad.
That's okay. I go several days or sometimes weeks before I like shave my upper lip and whatever. I look kind of like a dirtbag a lot.
Right. Actually, your beard looks pretty bad too. Like
I got it.
Like it's never better than mine. Like I don't know what's going on with mine.
Yeah, once a week I diet. I'm 37, but I started going gray like 28.
Right. Yeah, I'm kind of gray too. It doesn't seem like it, but in real life, like there's grayness there. Not like you, because I can see the grayness from the video. So
Yeah. Yeah.
see, uh Lee likes okay, sorry, I'm holding a knife up. But he likes oh, we already talked about this, but he likes Star Wars. So he's like saying he's making fun of us, but
Yeah, I'm fine with Star Wars too. I like Star Wars just fine.
yeah. I still haven't seen the new one yet though.
No. Reviews with Daniel wants to know how we can contact both of us. Multiple ways you can contact me: Instagram, message me on Facebook, Patreon. I got a thing on Clarity FM for free phone calls. I'm not charging for that. It's just I don't like giving out my phone number that much, so I use Clarity. How can they contact you?
Yeah, if you go to the YouTube Gorothbalion, there's an email there, but otherwise Gorothbalion@gmail.com.
Right.
So that's probably the best way. And mind you, I don't check that email often. So, but I will eventually get back to you, maybe when I do check it. But
right. Hey, did you see my review I left for you?
For me?
Yeah, on the Rental Brothers.
No, actually, I didn't. I left you one, right?
Yeah, well, when you sign into Google, it says that it's going to be like may take a few days right now because of the whole thing. I don't know why. So yeah, I left a whole bunch of reviews for people. So hopefully in the next few days they'll start seeing them.
Right. Yeah, I did that too. Actually, that's not a bad idea. See, I leave reviews sometimes, and I started doing this more and more for clients. So like a martial arts center.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and then I think hopefully they see that and they're like happy because like usually what does like service do for you? Like if someone serviced me, they brought me some rentals like or something, and then they left me a cool review, I'd be like, wow, like these guys are like just doing what they can to make me happy. Like I love them, So I'm doing that more.
That is a very good. I just wrote that down. Review clients that we drop stuff off at. Obviously not personal people, but businesses. Right. That's a great idea.
Right. And then in the review, to make it sound like it's real, instead of saying, like, say I review, I guess I use the martial arts center as an example. I don't say, like, we use their services, but if I say, like, we loved working with these people, and then sometimes I mention some names, but I still make the review not fake because I feel like you make it fake, people are like, oh, they can kind of tell like you might be in with them, but like it's like, oh, I love working with Jane. They were fantastic to work with. So even though it's kind of a fake review because we never use their service, like the stuff I say is real, and that way, I don't know, it just makes it a bit more genuine.
Right. That's good. Justin's got lots of questions. Thanks, Justin. I saw some online auctions. Have you ever done that with rental equipment, or do you just go to the ones in person, like the tables I basically stole? I've tried online auctions. I don't like it because you can't see the equipment. I like to go in person. And when you're in person, you can take advantage of everyone's being kind of like coy or whatever, which is how I stole those tables. So I like in-person auctions better than online. My friend has a very large rental company, and he does online auctions once a year, and he says it sucks. He gets about 20 cents on the dollar for items at an online auction. He makes more when he does an in-person auction.
Yeah. So he sells off his stuff in auctions, is what you're saying. Like he. Yeah. Okay. Right. So. Yeah, you don't want to sell your stuff in auctions. That's kind of like desperate, I would say. Or if you're too busy losing money / making money. So if you're a bankrupt company, someone's going to sell your stuff for you. And then if you're too busy and you're like making lots of money, I noticed there was an electrical, Trotter and Morton were selling a bunch of stuff. But I feel like they're selling because they're just like so busy and like focused on their work that they can't even be bothered to sell their crap off. And so in that case, they're selling and it's kind of worth it for them, even though they're, like you say, you're only going to get 20 cents. So buying at auctions is great in that regard. And there's a lot of online ones here in around my place where you can still view the stuff. Like they have like viewing days.
Yeah.
The auctions online.
Okay.
So you obviously it's different, so there won't be any viewings. But like a lot of the online ones still have like viewings. That's probably what you want to do because then you can at least see the stuff. And eventually, when you have enough experience buying stuff, like you kind of get an idea of like, you know, if is it going to be good or bad. And then some of the auctions have like better pictures. With tables, you kind of want to see the plywood if it's wooden tables to make sure it's not like complete crap. But I do more and more as I grow. I do more and more like buying of stuff that I've never seen. Like the confidence is there, you know, like you've seen 10 of these items and you kind of get the idea once you see the picture. You know, so I think over time, like you'll get confident. Yeah, if you're bigger, then you don't have to see as much and you just take the risk.
Right. Yeah, I bought $4,500 worth of china from a company in New Jersey. Drove down there, never seen this stuff, but and all ended up being good. It was just a line that they didn't use anymore.
Right. Yeah, you can kind of ask them and stuff. Like you can feel people out. I think after a while in the business, you can definitely feel people out and like ask the right questions. You know, when you ask like how's the condition, and then they start. The way they respond, you can kind of
Pass.
So Texas guy there is first time out this year. They having simple issues.
This is Jordan. Yeah, I saw his video. It looks like he made AC units from like a house unit, put it on some carts, and somehow figured out how to hook it up to power. Instead of buying like a commercial tent air conditioner, it looks like he made it. I'm not sure. Did you make those, Jordan?
That sounds like something Jordan would do.
Right.
So I'm wondering. Oh, I was actually thinking about that to diversify. I was thinking about, and because I saw it in the flyer, someone was like renting out AC units, hot filter units for houses and hot water tanks. Like it was weird. Like they weren't leasing it, they weren't financing, they were renting these things. So I thought, hey, maybe that's not a bad idea. But I decided against it. But it's just interesting, like, you know, the stuff you can rent out. But actually AC units are at his scale. Like, so we live in Canada, so we don't really need those too much. But I can imagine in Texas on hot summer days, they're probably more necessary.
So is Jordan the biggest company of the whole group?
Yes.
Yeah, probably. Jordan's company makes a lot of money, and they're quite big, and they're in Texas. They got year-round rentals. The only problem with Jordan's company is it's owned by a whole bunch of people instead of just one person.
Right. There's a couple of them. How slow are you? Okay. So he hasn't answered back there, but that's okay.
Right. Justin, again, experienced some purchasing online from an auction, and was it just garbage or didn't look like the auction site? I've actually, I don't think, I've never bought anything from an online auction. So what I have done is I went to the place before the online auction began and offered the guy money beforehand, and he would rather do that than do an auction because he has to pay fees on it. So I went and picked up some coffee things and whatever for basically what they would have went at auction, but he didn't have to pay the fees, and I could just pay cash that day.
Yeah, it sounds like Justin's actually like really thinking about buying something here. But yeah, if you have a bad feeling about it, follow your gut. More of that, like just listening to my gut has paid off. So yeah, just follow your gut. I think if you have a bad feeling, the pictures aren't matching up or something, don't do it.
Right. I said don't buy stuff online yet until you're into this a little bit. Just buy stuff local, even if it's a 4-hour drive. Then you can actually take a look at it. because a lot of times they might put a picture of a tent up from 2 years ago, and then you get the tent and you open it and it has to be cleaned or it's just junk. So buy in person for a little while.
Right, if they're tents, they get rips and stuff as well. So
also, there's a Facebook group called Event Rental Classifieds where everyone puts their stuff for sale, or you can just go on and say, hey, does anyone have X item for sale? Like my staging that I bought, I just went on and said, anyone got staging for sale? And some guy said, yeah, contact me. And then a few days later, I had staging at my warehouse that I bought from him for $100 each.
Right.
So do you follow that Facebook page, Event Rental Classifieds?
No, but I'm gonna look it up. Let me write that down. Is it mostly U.S. stuff?
I'd say so.
Yeah.
There's a few Canada people on there, but I mean, it's growing. There's a lot of people on there. Basically, whenever I need something, I just post a question on there, and people say, yeah, I got that. I'm willing to get rid of it.
Yeah, that makes sense because you get 10 companies. There's probably more. There's more for sure. By the sounds of it, like 10 companies is not a lot, but everybody has stuff at different stages of its life.
Right.
Slash might be looking to like move towards one direction and move away from another, which happens a lot because you're kind of experimenting all the time. You're like, well, maybe I should get into pop-ups, and then like you get into pop-ups, so like, nope, I don't like pop-ups, and then you sell off your
right.
That's still decent.
That auction I went to where I bought those tables real cheap, they had pop-ups there where I stole them. They had pop-ups there, and I looked them up beforehand, and they were going brand new like $70-$80, but at the auction they were going for $160 or $200, and he had like 30 10x10 pop-ups that were all going for like double the price of buying new. So that's interesting about auctions sometimes is you go and you pay more for the item than it is brand new somewhere because you just get in that mode of like bidding and trying to win.
Right. People don't know the value of pop-ups if they've never dealt with a pop-up.
Right.
So before I started event rentals, I knew nothing about pop-ups. And then when I was first looking to buy them, I saw a bunch for like $200-$300 on the local classifieds. And so they don't depreciate very much. You sneak off a sale here and there and not lose too much money. In fact, most of the event rental items depreciate pretty good compared to like cars or I don't know, even construction equipment kind of fades after a while, I suppose. But usually, if you can wait it out, you can always sell a table for 50% of the what you bought it for, I would say.
Right.
But I'm guessing like an excavator or a heater or something like they're really expensive new, but they go down. Pop-ups suck. I can't afford. Okay.
Yeah. Jordan says, yeah, he made them. Why don't you do a video about exactly how you made it from start to finish so that me and Les can learn how to do it? Because I don't want to buy air conditioning unit. I think making one would be better.
Jordan's great too because he has no competition apparently. Like it's just like
right. He just buys all the companies up around him.
That's over there.
Right.
Jordan, if any small company pops up in your area, I would just buy them out immediately, and have them non-compete because like you want to keep that trend, So.
Someone put a question. I can't find it, but he texted it to me too. I don't know what this means. What side of Robert Kiyosaki's quadrant do you think your business is at? Thank you, guys. Do you know what that means?
No.
Robert Kiyosaki's quadrant. I don't know who Robert Kiyosaki is.
Dad? Hold on. Poor dad. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Poor dad, rich dad. Yeah.
I never read that book.
Yeah, I know you don't read.
Yeah.
So okay, there's the question. So I think he probably has like must have some sort of like quadrant chart thing, which we could probably Google. I'm not going to, but Now with the thing with Robert is that he got famous because of the book, and he got rich because of the book. So I think, and then now he's really. It seems like he's really kind of utilizing, like the companies he's joined up with are kind of using his image and his book to like pretend he's like really smart and famous. But I think he wrote a book, got lucky. The book is very popular. Right. And now he's an authority figure, and he has all these and he's well spoken. I'll give him that. He's very well spoken. But I don't actually follow him too much, just because he seems kind of silly, Yeah.
Yeah. So I did research on. Go ahead.
No, go. Yeah, I'm done.
I did research on it because everyone was saying, "Did you read this?" Or it was always coming up, and so I researched the guy, and I found the same thing. Like a lot of criticism about his book, how he didn't have a lot of experience. He did get lucky, and now he's a figurehead, an authority figure, which I find a lot of these dudes are. Like I messaged some dudes on Instagram to like talk about things, and they say to me, "How much you gonna pay me?" And I just write back, "LOL, I don't pay for stuff like that."
Right.
Because they're all too silly. And a lot of times, like these Instagram guys who are like big authority in social media or whatever, it's most of the time fake. They're just putting an image out there, hoping that the money will follow. They're not real. They're not real knowledgeable or real professionals in the field. They're just trying to get your money, basically.
Speaking of money.
Thanks, Lee. I got some Canadian money. You did that for me the other day too. Thank you. That was cool.
Yeah. So there are a lot of these guys on YouTube, and you can still learn from them. Frank is disappointed in us here with really, but I think there's some better ones. There's a guy named what's his name? He's from the concrete. Let me look him up here. I'm bad with names sometimes.
While you're doing that,
Ben Mao.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Ben Mao. I think it's Ben Mao. Okay, and he's I kind of started listening. Except he owns a bunch of hotels, which usually is great, but right now he's like freaking the hell out because obviously, his hotels aren't being booked up. But
is this the Airbnb guy?
Sorry?
Is this the Airbnb guy who's like keeps yelling at the owner of Airbnb?
I don't know about that.
Okay.
He does yell a lot, and he's kind of like bigger,
Oh, okay.
He smokes all the time. Like I don't know, but I like him because you can tell he's kind of real, And then while Robert Kiyosaki, again, like I don't know, because he wasn't much before the book. So I have a friend that always says, like, if someone's writing the book, like most real, very successful people aren't writing the book. They're doing, and it's not if you're writing the book, you want that book to make you money.
Right.
But and the real successful people don't write the book because they're doing this stuff that actually makes you the money, which is the work, the actual work. So if you have the time to like sit there and write a book, then you're either kind of at a higher stage in your business. But not Frank, Robert Kiyosaki, I feel like. Okay, I saw that $5 come in, so I got stumped. But it seems like Robert kind of was like, just writing the book so that he can make money from the book. Like kind of like you said, you seem to have that observation as well.
Hey, Frank, before you leave, thank you. Frank's going to write a book. Frank does a lot of stuff. Frank, write a book. He owns a barn venue. He owns horse trailers. He owns bounce houses. He owns tents. He'll write a book. We'll all read it.
Frank, yeah, we'll talk soon.
Jordan's saying he didn't make them. I thought he made them, but yeah, do a video on them. So Justin's got a quick question. Is it a bad idea to start booking everything and finding a company to do the work? No. Book the stuff. Book it a little higher than what your competition is booking it for. Have them do the work. If you can't get the tent in time or the tables or chairs, have them do the work. Make 10% on top of it. Just be the middleman until you get the stuff. That's why I always say, if you got a job 6 months away and you need to buy a big tent, say yes to it. Hopefully you make some money to buy the tent. But if not, you've got 10 other companies around you who you can call up and take care of it. Just make sure it's priced higher than what they're charging you.
Right. That's the key. That's for sure the key. Otherwise, then you're not making any money. So, yeah, you definitely want to, which is weird because sometimes people are like, you're like, oh, but I'll lose the customer. Yeah, but in that case, it's better to lose the customer than undercharge and like not do any money, but still put in some work. And that's bad. So you definitely want to charge appropriately.
Yeah, charge appropriately and talk them into giving you the rental industry rate of a 10% discount. So if you charge 10% more than what they're already doing and get the 10% discount, you make 20%. And, not being able to buy the tent in time or whatever, you can always cover your ass in this business and still make money, which I think is crazy. Like I do it all the time. I just say yes to the thing. And if I can't buy the thing, then I have someone else come in and do it.
Right, exactly. And then try to like find companies you like and they don't have like really shitty reviews or something.
Right.
Because there's probably a few companies that aren't great. So yeah, definitely. I already got the local vendor discount being in the industry this long and knowing the owner. Yeah, exactly. So
right.
Eventually,
Nice.
So I was talking to Lee about this, where at the beginning when Lee was getting into like subrenting stuff, the other companies would like really like him, and now they like hate him. So that's interesting. Like,
right at that point, they stop renting you things, and then you just buy those things and take all the rentals from them. They could have been making money off you, but they stop doing business with you, and they lose. Your stuff's going out instead of theirs. So screw them.
Exactly.
Right. So, switch topics a little. What are you doing right now? What are your like projects or plans? What are you like doing in this time where you can't do much else?
Yeah, right. Sometimes, So, wedding arches. That's the simple answer. I'm going to be making wedding arches. Because that kind of, I had the video about talking about manufacturing in Canada. And I'm like, well, that's kind of a start in that regard. And I don't actually want to really pursue that too much. But I thought to myself, wedding arches will be interesting because like it only costs like $30 of materials, and you can sell these things for $300. A fairly simple thing, like literally putting a couple pieces of wood together. Some of them are a bit more complicated, and I do want to take the time to properly like have them kind of be able to disassemble and assemble. But generally speaking, and if they don't sell, they'll rent out. And I think it'll be a good winter activity to like do that. So let's say it kind of really dies down in the winter time. Well, then we can like keep on a couple guys, and we'll just make wedding arches and like sell them, lease them, rent, and that's kind of the thing. So there's still a bunch of things I'm doing. I'm thinking of like unique rentals. I'm gonna kind of maybe make more YouTube videos, maybe make a event rental website, like kind of like a what's going on around town website, not an event rental website, but like a events website, which maybe in the future I can use to like advertise. Like it kind of ties in with everything. But the important thing is I didn't want to diversify too much. I wanted everything in line with the core event rental business. So whatever modules I come up with during this time, I didn't want them to relate to this business. Otherwise, it's too much diversification. But yeah, the wedding arches, I'm physically going to be building like different styles of wedding arches. And
I think that's a good idea. The company I buy mine from, all the legs and tops and everything are interchangeable because they built jigs to be able to screw the holes in the same place every time. So if my top breaks, I can just buy a new top and it will fit with my legs, because everything for the past 15 years has been built on the same jigs. Like I bought my first wedding arch like 12 years ago and I needed to replace the top. And that was my first question. Is it going to fit? And they're like, yeah, everything was made on a jig. So everything lines up from 15 years ago.
Right. So you have, like, technically speaking, you have like wedding arbors.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. No. And the only difference here is that, like, I do like I remember you made a video about this company. They have so many different styles and like,
yeah,
they look really nice. But just for simplicity's sake, I will stick with the pure arches for now. Because literally it's just like 2 pieces of wood and you have like a mountain triangle arch, and all those arbors are a bit more like, they have the lattice on this, more 3D. It seems like the company that makes yours like does them really well, from what I remember.
Yeah.
So I was thinking to myself,
so that's different.
Like, it's slightly different, but like it'll still be interchangeable in terms of like, I don't know, in terms of something, I guess.
Okay, I didn't know that before. So I have arbors. I've heard them be called arbors before. I just always call them arches, but now I know the difference between arbor and an arch.
I think you can still call them arches.
Right.
But it seems that, just basically just so that you know what I'm making and you don't imagine me making arbors, that for that distinct, because I don't think it matters in the end what you call what, as long as both the parties know what both the parties are talking about. So, so I'm not sure if like arbor is the correct, absolutely correct word or whatever. I think you can still, it's an overarching, the pie charts of the words, they can cross over.
It crossed over. Justin wants to see you make more videos on your photo booth, which I would say you're not the expert on photo booth. If you want to see the photo booth, Justin, go over to Lee's channel. The bartender photo boothing rental guy. He's all about those photo booths. Sign up for his Patreon too. Maybe he can sell you his book on photo booths. And earlier I said that Frank is the guy who's going to write a book. I think I'm mixing up my names. I'm pretty sure it's Moreno who owns the barn, the horse trailer, all that. But have you guys thought of going to China for business? Is that a joke? I don't think I have. No.
Well, now especially.
Right. My wife told me something very interesting last night. In New Jersey, their graduation is 1 month before ours, high school graduation. So I'm thinking of just filling a truck and going down to New Jersey for their graduation weekend and get tents out. Obviously, I got to build like a Google thing down there, but I could get a whole weekend booked of tents down in New Jersey 1 month before. Obviously not this year, but.
Right. Okay. So this is actually a good question that I have for you, because you've always been like asking me all the questions here, and that's how is the barn venue situation going? A, like with the bookings, and B, with everything else, I suppose, like in general. But
with our Airbnb that we got,
yeah.
So
people cancel it.
Our bookings don't start until October. Is when the previous owner had all her bookings booked up. So it's not affecting us right now because we still actually haven't closed. But I've been going on her listing and looking.
Okay.
All the weeks, the next 3 weeks have all canceled on her. So she's hurting a little, but it's not hurting us because I'm hoping to close at the end of April.
Right.
And then from May to October 23rd, she has every weekend booked. And then we've booked some October the last October date and New Year's Eve under our listing. So I'm a little scared. Like if this goes further on, then it's going to suck. But as of right now, I'm okay. She's losing money, but we haven't closed yet. So we're still signing paperwork or whatever. But we got a lot of interest in it for next year. Sent out a lot of quotes, and we realized that we are quite high on it. So we've lowered our price on it a little bit just to get more people in. But I think it's hard to show a space without the tent there yet, without the parking lot, the hill graded to flat, and put the tent up. I think once the tent is up, it's an easy sell.
Right. Okay. Got it. Yeah. That barn venue looks insanely nice inside. Like it looks really top notch. So yeah, I think combined with the I don't know. Like you almost need so there's a place here in town that has like a really fancy, you can call it a barn venue. And they've made they're right by like a restaurant which they own as well, and they made it really fancy inside. Like it's pretty much the fanciest restaurant in Calgary.
Is that the place you were telling me about before? And they have a tent outside, and it's like in the middle of a park, kind of.
Yeah. So they just but at the same time, he has all this staff,
right.
Basically, and what he really did was he made it a wine. He made it a freaking wine. What are those people that like wine called? There's a word for them. But not they don't only like wine, but they're
snobby about it.
So basically, you go to these places for dinner, and you're spending almost $1,000 or something apparently because of the wine. You buy the bottle of wine, which is $400. And he's not only is he profiting because of everything else, but he's profiting because of this wine situation he has going. So that's a thought. Just make it like a wine cellar, right? And have, because there isn't anything really in Calgary that compares. No one goes anywhere for wine related because it's not in the area where wine is. So he kind of really made it little wine niche where if you're rich, you can go and enjoy the wines they have. And 10 years ago, cleaning out the garage of that place because someone built an underground bunkers thing, and it was just filled with thousands and thousands of bottles of wine. It was
really,
yeah.
That's awesome for him.
Yeah. So just a thought, make it into a wine.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
You need staff though. That's the thing. You need fancy staff to walk around and
Well, what we're trying to do is we're not there. You either hire a wedding coordinator or the caterer handles all that, because a few of the caterers around me are technically caterers and coordinators. So you just rent the house from us, sleep 30 people there, have your whole family there, and you get the full run of the property for 4 days. This when we're not there. That's what we're trying to do.
Right.
We got a question on pipe and drape. Is it profitable? So in my area, it's not. If you're in a city or anywhere where they have a bunch of expos, it is. You make a ton of money on pipe and drape, and it's all during the winter time is usually when expos are. So if you're in the middle of nowhere, kind of like me, don't even worry about pipe and drape. Get a few pieces for backdrops behind the wedding party or whatever. But in general, pipe and drape is a bigger city kind of thing if to make a lot of money on it. Yeah. I don't know. You got pipe and drape?
Well, now I do. So I bought those linens.
Right.
Yeah. I don't want to talk about those, but and they do come with several lengths of pipe and drape. And she was telling me, she's these are, you can rent these out for millions of dollars, hundreds of dollars. And I was okay, but I haven't really experienced that too much yet. So we'll see. But apparently people tell me it's profitable, but it's weird because I don't know, there's a place here in town that sells them for $10 a drape and $10 a pipe. And it's how's that profitable?
Right. Why would they rent it if they don't buy it? But do you have a lot of expos in your area? Could you do it?
I do, yeah. There's a ton of expos here. So I will get into that a little bit, I think, because I have been asked for it a lot, and I always say no. But now that I have it, I will rent it out, and maybe I can. It seems like the custom ones, like the custom backdrops, like the fancier colors, and you can kind of like rent out for a bit more. So you can. It seems like you can upsell the clients a bit. So
Right.
yeah.
Lee's got a question about eco charge. I have no idea what it is, but
Okay, so Lee showed me an invoice from a sub rental, and the invoice said eco fee from it. So it was like from another company, and the company had an eco fee. He's like, they always charge a $5 eco fee. And I was like, that's not a thing here.
right. So it's a way for them to grab money, unless it's some sort of thing in their city where they have to charge it.
I don't think so. I think like I've seen it obviously for, and I'm sure you have as well, for like disposing of oil. Right. You know, like in a car place, in a car shop or something. But what eco fee would there be for? Like, how's that even? Like, I'm pretty sure there's legal issues with that.
Right.
Unless everybody's doing it in the area, but I think it was just the one guy Lee was saying that was doing it. But because I think if you say eco fee, you have to like it goes to the government or something. Like it's not.
Oh, okay.
You can't just like make it. Like I suppose you can on a small scale, and if no one complains, like regulations aren't really like super tight when it comes to event rental. I suppose, but.
Here's a question for you. I think I made a video about this and it came out earlier today. But renting out for an entire season or longer rental, like instead of 1 week, maybe 2-3 weeks. One price in way if you have the tent, and two if you don't have the tent and plan on buying it for them. Well, how do you price a longer rental? I personally only ever get like maybe 2 weeks at a time. We did a full season, and I just priced it at purchase cost and signed them up for a 2-year contract or a 3-year. But I don't really come across people wanting things for 2 months at a time. Do you?
Yeah, it's rare. It does occasionally happen, and I suppose you can maybe even. That's why I kind of wanted to get into like in the future. My like potential to-do list was going to be like leasing stuff, and that would kind of entail like maybe a church wants chairs, but they just built the chairs, and they just built the church, and they don't really have the money to like fill it, so we would lease them the chairs, and then eventually or lease to own, like all these like different types of stuff for like community centers, for churches, for the city or whatever. But so I was thinking about that. So maybe like if you market yourself for potential long-term rentals, you might get more clients. I didn't really get like you, and I saw your like tent video where they wanted it for 2 weeks and you charged them like 2 days for 2 weeks. So that's kind of what I would do. Maybe if someone wanted it for like a month, I would charge them like 2.5 days or something. It is a bit weird, and I say to get more money. And rightly so, because I'm doing more work, is like once in a while we want to come out and make sure all the straps are tight. Also, if it's out for a while, the tent gets really dirty, so it takes more intensive cleaning to clean it afterwards. There's also a higher risk of it getting vandalized. And so like I go through this list of like why we have to charge what we do. And then they're kind of happier about it. But yeah, it is weird because obviously you're not charging 30 days of rental for that month of rental. So you're going to have a thing. I think what it should be is a week should be 2 days. A month should be like it should be times two. That's what one of the companies in my area does. So a day rental is like 30, a week rental is 60. A month rental is 120. So the math didn't make sense there, which I just said, depending on how you look at it. But yeah, basically it's like from a day to a week to a month, they like double it. And that kind of makes sense to me.
I found that it's all like every time someone wants a long-term rental, there's no like exact like math to do. Like if they want a long-term rental in January, that's going to be different than a long-term rental in July. So I just sit down and kind of do the math of how much would I have made with this potentially if it wasn't on the long term, and kind of figure out some sort of small discount to give them. It's always case by case. It's never just like this is the equation for it, unless it's like certain items like your tarps. You probably have certain pricing for that for certain times, but things like tents or a bathroom trailer or something, you gotta kind of have to figure out how much you would have made not being out for a full month or whatever, and how much you can get away with charging them.
And then the other variable is the season. So if it's a busy season, you might want to charge more. Like we have the Stampede here in Calgary. RIP Stampede 2020 potentially, but we'll see. But it's extremely busy during the Stampede. So a lot of, literally, companies charge, the main event rental companies here, not including myself yet, charge double. So if you're charging the entire Stampede, which some companies or some businesses want you to price it out for the entire Stampede because they're events for the whole time, which is like 9 days or 10 days. It's like, what do you charge when the other companies are charging twice per day? So they have double rates and they have a 24-hour max. So they really go nuts during the Stampede, and like that's when they make their most money. So it's really season dependent, and also, so if it's the winter time and someone wants a few chairs, like I just want the job to get the money,
right? So
a discount. But midsummer, like I don't really want your long-term rental, because what if I don't have that tent for someone else then?
Yeah. And say you're doing a 40 by 40 rental for long-term for a construction site for 2 months in the middle of summer. You're not just missing out on that 40 by 40 rental. If that went out for weddings every weekend, you're missing out on the tables, chairs, dance floor, lights, everything else that's going under that tent too. So busy season, long-term rentals are kind of get expensive.
Right. And then you can't tell that to the client either. You can't be like, well, I don't want to rent it to you because I'm missing out on all this stuff. So you don't want to make the client feel like they're losers, like so right. You can never say that either to the client. You just gotta say no, or it's rented or something.
Right. I think that's a nice way of saying no without saying no.
You can never justify comparing them to other clients. Like they will feel about it no matter how nicely you say it.
He's got to follow up to that. That's if we own the tent. What about buying a new one? So that's what I have done on my long-term rental. I just bought a brand new tent straight up, rented it to him for the whole year at purchase price, had him sign a contract for 2 more years after that, which they eventually screwed me on. But at least I got my first year money out of it. So yeah, if you're going to do a long-term rental, just charge them the purchase price or a little above or a little below. And then you have that tent in your inventory if they don't do it again next year.
Yeah. And Jordan's saying like, it's pretty much torn up by the time we get it back. And that's the problem with long-term rentals too, especially if they're using it like every day. If for some reason it's like at like by an athletic park and like they're using it for their like midday crafts or some BS like that, then then like they're using it every day. It's gonna get wrecked. There's like people like throwing like I don't know. It varies in different examples, but so in the end of the day, like you kind of want to make enough money that you can replace it and that it covered all your costs. So yeah, don't undercharge is the story here.
Right. Lee might be one of those wine nerds. He knows the word. It was sommelier. Him being a bartender, he might just because he's a bartender, but right. I'm gonna call him wine nerd.
That's a late comment. We talked about that like a good 12 minutes ago.
Yeah. All right, I gotta get going home, see the wife and kids, but I just want to run through these real quick with the pipe and drape. Jordan was just saying, where's Jordan? He was basically saying he charges $35 a booth. He usually does eight booths or more. He can make $8,000 to $10,000 for one expo, and that was 2 hours of work up and 3 hours of work down. So for 5 hours, with 3 or 4 guys. He's making $8,000 to $10,000 for it. So if you live in an area with expos, yes, pipe and drape is awesome. If you live in where I live, pipe and drape is not awesome.
Right. And then you like wash it, store it, clean it. I suppose you got to do that with
the pipe and drape. I actually got pipe and drape hanging up behind me because it was too bright behind the window behind me. That's called banjo drape. That sucks when it gets wrinkled. It's like almost impossible to get unwrinkled. I hate it.
Yeah. Banjo drape. Avoid banjo drape. Okay, good talk. We'll keep watching Star Trek.
Yeah. Someone just said the last episode came out last night, so I'm going to go home and pirate that shit and watch it because I don't pay for the CBS thing. Real quick before I leave, Reviews with Daniel says, the Tank Guy, what do you get for $3 a month patron? Looking to learn more and doing business. Well, $3 of the month one is you just like me and you just want to say, hey, I like you. Here's $3 a month. The $12 a month one gets you access to the texting and whatever, and then we can talk a whole bunch. But everyone, if you don't, I think most of these people here already subscribe to your channel. So check out Les Gorothbalion channel, which you need to change that name.
I know.
Check out Lee's channel, the bartending photo boothing rental guy for photo booth stuff, and check out Jordan's channel, Tent and Events Rental. Which Jordan, you could probably change your name too, because it's not very descriptive. I mean, it is, but like it kind of just seems like it's another tent company out there, just like advertising their equipment.
It's hard to see your picture too. It's hard to see that tent in your little.
Oh yeah, that is a tent.
So it almost looks like just like a flat field in the horizon, at least from like this size. So just like no big deal, no big deal, no.
And I already got you guys beat. I took the best name, so you got to be more creative.
Yeah. But yeah, my name is terrible. So here I am criticizing Jordan's picture.
Yeah.
I have like a scuba diving.
Yeah. You got a scuba diving thing.
Avatar.
A name from Lord of the Rings. Right.
Yeah. Okay. All right, man. Take it easy.
All right. Sounds good. Talk to you later.
I forget you're still around until